Maybe this feels familiar. You gave her everything, your time, your attention, your love, and somehow it still wasn't enough. One day she just looked at you differently, like all the moments that meant something to you suddenly meant nothing to her. She said she needed space, or she wasn't happy anymore, or she just doesn't feel it like she used to. And now you're sitting there, replaying every conversation in your head, wondering what you did wrong. If this is you, you know that empty feeling that doesn't go away. You wake up with it, you go to sleep with it, you tell yourself you're fine, but the truth is, you still check your phone hoping she'll reach out. You still scroll through old pictures, wondering how someone who said I'll never leave could walk away so easily. You see her posting, smiling, acting like she's moved on, and deep down it burns, because you're the only one feeling the loss. And maybe part of you wishes she could feel it too. You wish she could wake up one morning, remember your face, your energy, your presence, and realize she made the biggest mistake of her life. You don't want revenge. You just want that silent satisfaction of knowing she finally understands what she threw away. But how do you make her regret her decision without ever saying a word? Ever wonder what truly goes on in someone's mind after they've made a difficult decision that impacts you? What if I told you there's a way to not only understand it, but also subtly influence their perspective, leading them to genuinely regret their choice? This isn't about manipulation, it's about understanding the subtle dance of human emotion and attraction. The first few days are chaos. You'll want to reach out, fix things, explain yourself, but don't. Your silence is louder than any message you could ever send, because when you stay quiet, she's forced to sit with her own choice, and in that silence, the human mind starts to question. That silence gives you space to grow. You hit the gym, focus on your grind, build yourself again. Every bit of progress you make whispers one truth. You didn't lose her, she lost you. You evolve into a man who no longer needs validation, who no longer waits for closure, who no longer chases what walked away. Then one night, her mind drifts back to you. She checks your profile, half expecting the same man she left. But he's gone. What she sees now is someone sharper, colder, calmer, the version of you she can't reach anymore. And that's when it hits her. The reality that she wasn't replaced. She was left behind. She'll realize what she lost not when you tell her, not when you prove it, but when your absence becomes louder than your words ever were. Because the greatest revenge is silence mixed with self-respect. Most men get this part wrong. The moment she leaves, they panic. They chase, they beg, they argue, trying to convince her that what they had was special. They think words can bring her back, but words are weak when emotion is desperate. The more you explain, the smaller you look. And the smaller you look, the more she pulls away. You have to understand something deeper. Women don't regret losing a man who's lost control of himself. They regret losing a man who never needed to beg in the first place. The masculine frame isn't built in moments of comfort. It's built in silence, in restraint, in that calm acceptance that says, I don't chase what isn't mine anymore. That energy is powerful because it comes from grounded self-respect, not wounded pride. See, the moment you stop reacting, you stop feeding her ego. She begins to notice your absence differently, not as rejection, but as strength. And that strength unsettles her. It makes her question whether she really made the right choice. That's the shift. That's the moment when regret begins to grow quietly inside her. The core masculine principle most men forget is this: control is power. Control over your emotions, your time, your focus. When you learn to master that, you stop needing closure. You stop needing validation. You move with purpose again. And when you do, she feels it. She sees it in the silence, in your growth, in the way you carry yourself like a man who has nothing to prove. That's when the tables turn. Not because you made her regret her decision, but because your peace made her realize what she can never have again. He sat in his car outside the gym, engine still running, music low, the same playlist they used to drive to on late nights. For a second, he almost scrolled to her number. Almost. But instead, he took a deep breath and turned the volume up. The world outside looked colder, sharper, like everything familiar had changed shape since she left. It had been weeks now. Her last words still echoed sometimes, quiet but heavy. I just don't feel the same anymore. He replayed them 100 times, each one cutting a little less than before. The apartment felt emptier, but the silence had started to sound different lately. Less like pain, more like peace. He remembered how desperate he'd been that first week, typing long messages he never sent, wondering if she was thinking about him. But now, when his phone buzzed, he didn't reach for it. He'd learned that healing wasn't in proving his worth to her, it was in remembering it himself. Days turned into discipline, the weights clanged, sweat dripped, and for the first time in months his reflection looked steady. The sadness was still there, but it no longer owned him. He carried it like a scar, visible but healed. And then one night she viewed his story. Just a few seconds, a small name in a list, but it hit differently. Because this time, he didn't feel the urge to message her. He just smiled. For the first time, the regret wasn't his. It was hers. She left to find something better, and in doing so, made him become it. He turned off his phone, leaned back, and let the silence speak for him. Most men believe that making her regret her decision means proving something to her, showing her what she lost, making her see your worth. But here's the truth. The moment you start performing for her validation, you lose the very thing that could have made her regret it, your power. Regret doesn't come when she sees your success. It comes when she realizes she no longer affects you. The first false belief is that attention brings closure. You think if you just talk it out, explain how much you cared, she'll finally understand. But women don't fall back in love through logic. They feel it through energy. The more you chase, the less mystery you have. The less mystery you have, the less value she feels. Sometimes the only explanation you need is your absence. The second false belief is that moving on fast will make her jealous. You can't fake peace. You can't post your way into making her miss you. Real calm isn't performative. It's quiet, it's steady, it's growth without noise. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. And the third false belief, maybe the most dangerous one, is thinking her regret will heal you. It won't. Her realization might satisfy your ego, but it won't restore your soul. You don't need her remorse. You need your respect. Healing starts when you stop asking, will she ever miss me? And start asking, why did I forget who I was when she left? Because the truth is, the more you return to your purpose, the more you become the man she never truly knew. Regret is born not when you chase her, but when she can no longer reach you. She lost you the moment you stopped trying to prove your worth. The 1% Headman doesn't chase, argue, or prove. He doesn't try to convince her of his value. He embodies it. While most men react from pain, the Headman responds from power. This is what he understands. Regret isn't created through attention. It's created through evolution. The moment he's left, he doesn't crumble. He recalibrates. He knows that every setback is a mirror showing him where he abandoned himself. He doesn't move out of fear, he moves with intention. While others are stalking her stories, he's writing a new one. While they're waiting for her text, he's building something she can't scroll past. Peace, progress, purpose. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He's not in a hurry to get over her. He's in a process of becoming the man who no longer needs her validation. His silence isn't emptiness, it's discipline. His distance isn't bitterness. It's alignment. The 1% Headman knows that attention is a currency, and he spends it only where it compounds. This is what separates him. He doesn't chase comfort, he chases clarity. He doesn't ask, will she regret losing me? He asks, what version of me would never be lost in the first place? And that's the shift. When you stop trying to make her regret her decision and start living in a way that naturally commands it. The Headman doesn't force recognition. He earns respect. He doesn't need her to remember what he was, because now he's becoming everything she'll never have access to again. It happens quietly, not in some grand moment, but in the middle of an ordinary day. You're standing there, maybe scrolling through your phone, maybe just staring out the window, and suddenly it hits you. You're tired, not just of missing her, but of missing yourself. You remember the version of you that laughed without checking who was watching, the one who had dreams bigger than a text reply, the one who didn't wait for permission to feel alive. Somewhere along the way, you gave that man away piece by piece, trying to prove you were worth staying for. But now, there's a stillness inside you. not the emptiness of loss, the calm that comes right before a storm of rebirth. You realize she didn't walk away from you. She walked away from the man who forgot who he was trying to keep her. And for the first time, you don't feel anger, you feel gratitude, because her leaving forced you to return to yourself, to rebuild, not for her eyes, but for your own reflection. That's the turning point. When you stop hoping she'll come back and start realizing you already did. She'll think about you again, not when she's lonely, but when she finally realizes peace doesn't feel the same without your presence in it. She'll remember the man who didn't chase, didn't beg, didn't break, the man who walked away with quiet certainty and never looked back. And in that silence, she'll feel what you once felt, the loss of something rare, because in the end, regret isn't born from what she lost. It's born from what you became after she left. And that's the truth. She didn't leave a man behind. She created one.